कैसे हैं? और भाई ना
डॉक्टर धर्मेंद्र सिंह गंगवार जी, मैं जयप्रकाश उप्रेती
by a traditional auspicious ceremony by lighting the lamp as a tribute to Mother Saraswati. Oh Mother, we pray for you to make this world a better place. May the divine power of the preceding year and future vision of Professor Harshad Thakur, please.
Honorable Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Science and Technology and Financial Advisor Dr. D.S. Gangwarji, esteemed guests from national and international organizations, on behalf of NIHFW, I would like to welcome. Your presence today has not only boosted up the morale of our faculty and staff, but will also go a long way in strengthening our academic and professional endeavors. It gives me an immense pleasure to share with you the highlights of events and achievements for the last year on this special occasion, and I will like to just briefly present a report of our past year achievements. So NIHFW is an autonomous organization under the MOHFW, Government of India. We are also Apex Technical Institute for the promotion of health and family welfare programs in the country, and we cover activities like training, teaching, research, providing consultancy services and advocating not only for the improvement of public health and health management, but also successful implementation of health and family welfare programs launched by government from time to time. So one of the important mandate is to facilitate capacity building of the health professionals and to create workforce of knowledgeable skill human resources for healthcare delivery. And we also see that these healthcare personnel, those who are trained, they continue the training to their colleagues. In this endeavor, the faculty organizes many training programs for various areas of public health and hospital management to train health personnel of central, state health services, medical college faculty, nursing professionals, public sector undertakings, other government organizations, and even private organizations. This year, the institute has conducted, I am happy to announce that we have conducted 39 training courses, capacity building training programs, and more than 840 health functionaries. I will also like to mention here that in December-January, we conducted general duty medical officers recruited under CHS, Central Health Services, by MOHFW. In this, 85 GDMOs participated, and we had a 6-week foundation training program, and it was quite successful. Our CHS GDMOs were quite happy, and they wanted more period for this induction training program. In the area of capacity building we have various activities. I will like to mention that there is a National Tobacco Control Program, and we successfully conducted 6 training of trainers, TOTs, at the behest of MOHFW, and 164 master trainers were trained. This was done along with World Health Organization and other partners. Then we have our post-graduation in public health MD program, that is a major activity, MD in CHA. So at present total we have 23 students, and we have intake of 10 year per students, and this is MCI recognized postgraduate degree course in affiliation with DU, Delhi University. We also have postgraduate diploma in public health management, and we train 20 students per year, and in last year we also had 6 international students. Then we have a DLC, distance learning cell, and it facilitates continuous upgradation of knowledge and skills of various health personnel for delivering better health care across the country. And following the new UGC guidelines on education through distance learning, I am happy to announce that AICTE, All India Council of Training Education, Technical Education, has given the recognition to conduct postgraduate diploma in management in 3 specialized courses, namely hospital management, health and family welfare management, and health promotion. We also have PhD programs. At present, 4 students are currently enrolled. Then we also have summer training programs, and in last 1 year, 20 students completed their summer training. Then research, especially operational research, health system research, and evaluation of national health programs. That is our forte, and it is conducted on regular basis. At NIHFW, we get requests from Ministry of Health and Family Welfare at union level, also from various state ministries, and also from various other development partners and other NGOs. I will like to mention there are many activities. I will like to mention just 2 activities: evaluation study of Ayush component, namely Ayurveda, Unani, Homeopathy, National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Diseases and Stroke. Second, I will like to mention need assessment and socio-cultural practices among tribal population on child immunization for strategic intervention in India. This was only mentioned, I am mentioning only 2, but I am happy to announce that there are more than 20 research programs we undertook, and few are under process. We also conducted external evaluation of public health care facilities, tertiary care hospitals and institutions under Kayakalp scheme, and in last month only, we completed this evaluation by visiting 24 centrally funded institutes all across the country, and we have submitted the report to Ministry of Health. NIHFW has been assigned many other responsibilities by Ministry and other national organizations. So here monitoring of the training was conducted under this, under NHM by the RCH unit of the institute in faculty at CTI and SIHFWs to improve the quality of training in all the states and union territories under Central for Health Informatics.
डॉक्टर सुशील कुमार विमल जी को कि कृपया मंत्री महोदय से अपना MDCH
in a single individual life, it may be called a midlife crisis. For a young organization in 1977 born, it will be still called an adolescent stage for an institution. Institutions are born and brought up with the perspective of centuries of growth and development. I recall when I went to King George Medical College, Lucknow in 1980, the only institute we studied in SPM through Park and Park was NIHFW. And we used to study that the first test tube baby was, I think, created here in NIHFW. That is what we read. So it gives me immense pleasure to once again come to NIHFW, the only apex level institution dedicated exclusively for public health training, research and development. The first test tube baby in public health setup was born here. Otherwise it was born in Mumbai. There after I interacted with our director NIHFW and his committed senior faculty, the vision which I can visualize for next 43 years could be as follows. When this institute was set up in 1977, our public health priorities were different. That's why we have got an institute dedicated for family welfare. Now in 2020, the health and disease profile has changed in country. More than 52% morbidity is coming from non-communicable diseases. The erstwhile primary care is only focusing to 28% of disease care. We need to refocus the NIHFW for the public health promotion and public health wellness programs. Our ministry, under the able leadership of Honorable Union Health Minister, has embarked on a transformational journey for public health by setting up health and wellness centers in our sub-centers. So far, more than 31,000 health and wellness centers have been set up. Around 150,000 health and wellness centers will be set up by December 2020. Out of which 12,500 health and wellness centers will be set up by our sister organization of Ayush Ministry along the lines of our traditional integrative medicine. Can NIHFW be the apex level training, research, education institution for these health and wellness centers? Therefore, I propose, because our Honorable Minister right in the front gate said there should be small health messages on every occasion. can NIHFW be rechristened as National Institute of Health and Family Wellness to spearhead the movement of health and wellness under the Ayushman Bharat in Government of India, where I visualize the research and development and think tank role for NIHFW, where I propose that W should be translated to health and family wellness, that which are the health and family wellness centers which are doing best practices, innovative practices for non-communicable disease, for promotion of primary care in the community level, and can those best practices be replicated? What are the lessons? Can they be transmitted to other states for the health and wellness centers?
As State Minister of Health in 1994 was the successful implementation of the pilot project of the Pulse Polio program, which involved the mass immunization of 1 million children up to the age of 3 in Delhi. In 1995, this program was launched nationwide, leading to 88 million children being immunized, which was a milestone in itself. In 1997, under his leadership, the Delhi Prohibition of Smoking and Non-Smokers Health Protection Act was passed in the Delhi Assembly, which was one of the first anti-tobacco laws implemented by any state government. He has to his credit many awards, some of these being IMA President's Special Award of Appreciation by Indian Medical Association, Director General's Polio Eradication Champion Award Commendation Medal by the World Health Organization, Polio Eradication Champion Award by the Rotary International, Doctor of the Last Decade Swasth Ratna by Indian Medical Association's New Delhi branch. He is the author of book entitled A Tale of Two Drops, Kahani Do Boon Ki.
Dr. Harshad Thakur, Director of the National Institute of Health and Family Welfare. Dr. Vijay Kumar Tiwari, Dean of Studies. I can see a few distinguished people in the audience, although each one of you is equally distinguished but very senior, whom I have been seeing for many years. Dr. Shivlal, our Special DG, with whom I had the association since the time I first entered public life in '93. Dr. Colonel P.K. Datta, Dr. P.P. Talwar, Professor S.C. Gulati, Director of Population Research Center, Professor P.L. Trakru, the former Head of Communications, all the other senior faculty members, past associates of this very prestigious institution, other distinguished students, researchers, postgraduates, employees of this very prestigious institution, and media friends. It's a very, very happy occasion for me because I have heard about this institution. I have had the participation of people from this institution in number of meetings, number of functions since the time my public life started in '93. I am born and brought up in Delhi. I have been in this area hundreds and thousands of times since I was born. But incidentally, this is the first occasion when I am entering this campus in my life. So that gives me immense pleasure to be here. And it is just a coincidence that the last 1 month has been very, very lucky for me, that I have been to most of these places which normally I have a huge, you can say, respect for these places as institutions. Whatever their potential, etc., that I will discuss later. But So it was only a fortnight back that I was in Mumbai, the place where your director did most of his work in KEM and all. So I was in the National Institute of Public Health and Research training for their important function. Then I was also in the International Institute of Population Policy and Research there. That also was for the first time, although I had known about these institutions for long. Last week itself I had known about the Public Health Association of India for many years, since the time people like Dr. A.K. Datta, who were very active with the public health body in Calcutta also and in NICD and all other places. But never had I been to, maybe it was just a coincidence, chance, that never had I been in recent 2 decades been to their function of the public health professionals. So I was in their function of public health people, Association of India in AIIMS recently. And at all these places, after having known about their working, after having observed what they try to do, and after having seen now from much closer quarters, and now having been in this institution today, which I know this is the National Institute, and as far as I know there are the state bodies also, similar institutions in the states, like this is the National Institute of Health and Family Welfare. You have state institutes also. So there are so many institutions now, and then if you add to this the over 500 medical colleges and their social and preventive medicine departments, it is such a huge force of public health professionals and public health institutions which are only dedicated to either giving some degrees in public health to just a handful of people. Like the Mumbai Institute, which is supposed to be very big. I laid the foundation stone for their new building, but it's giving some diplomas to 20-25 people. This institution, which is like 43 years old now, born in the very important 1977 year, also gives diploma or MD, whatever, to some MD to 10 people, diplomas to some 100 people or so, and a couple of other degrees. So I think all these institutions have very huge potential, and they are being underutilized as compared to the potential that they have, and as compared to the vision that must have been thought about what they are supposed to be delivering. It's not that I want to demoralize you on your foundation day, but I want to celebrate this foundation day with a new energy for the institution, a new vision for the institution. And amongst all these institutions, I saw that the 2 Mumbai institutions are also very prestigious. This institution, of course, has a lot of name. You have given training to all sorts of health professionals. Just now Dr. Gangwar was mentioning about the recent 6 weeks training for CHS doctors. So you have given it to doctors, to Asha workers, to Anganwadis, or to whatever sections of the health community. So right now I strongly feel that on this foundation day, we must start a new chapter in the after having completed 43 years. Some of these institutions and organizations have to take a lead role, At the All India Institute of Medical Sciences last week, I told we had the president also there of the Association of these Social and Preventive Medicine people of the medical colleges. We had the president of the Public Health Association. What I am telling you here, I said in Mumbai also. I said it to our director there, who is a former Safdarjung Hospital and Molanian. I told him also, and I told this to the director of international, and at all the places we have good, well-meaning directors who are heading those places. So it's not that there is a dearth of good people, all well qualified, all trained from very prestigious institutions. They are the type of people that I saw, whether it was in those Mumbai institution. Your director is also trained at very good places. So right now I think that we will work out a strategy. When I go back to the ministry, I have been working on it for last, in my mind I have been working on it for last 1 month. And this is one more addition to what I have been trying to do, that all these places of public health institutions which are primarily either focusing on strengthening the preventive strategies, or they are focusing on strengthening our, you can say, the capability of our manpower. In that way, they all have to work together. There has to be a, number one, a renewed enthusiasm, a renewed energy, a reviewed diagnosis of our problems that we face in health at the moment. You see, a lot of things have changed. Even when I became a minister in '93, since then, so many improvements have happened. All the rates have come down so much. We have some of the, I think, best, most robust disease surveillance mechanisms established in the country. A place which was called NICD during the times of people like Dr. Shivlal and Dr. Datta, it's all now called NCDS. The names have changed, their working has changed, they have become far more dynamic, far more scientific, far more, you see, that's how we could, in a country as big as 135 crores, you can see it's all because of these public health people and the people who are handling our surveillance system, that we get a positive case and we are able to do the contact tracing of 150, 160, 175 people in so great detail. It's all because of all that robust systems that have been developed. So a good quality groundwork is already done. I was in 5 years back, 6 years back, when I joined this health ministry, and after 5 years I went to the Science and Technology Ministry, which I hold even now. I had the privilege to work there for 4-5 years, and initially I took it like a big shock, because I had all my life I had worked in health, but later on I appreciated that it was the greatest blessing in disguise for me in my life. And in the initial stages there also I found that they were doing extremely good work, but there was no synergy. I used to go to different labs, I visited all the laboratories in the country, all the places where the good quality, extensive research is happening, and then ultimately I used to see a lot of duplication of efforts, same work being researched, same research taking place here, similar things happening there. People are working for tuberculosis on the same, you can say, lines. In Indian Institute of Bangalore also, which is done by HRD, there similar thing is happening in Chennai, similar thing is happening in Assam. and the right hand is not knowing what the left hand is doing. The biotechnology doesn't know what the same thing is being happening in CSIR. CSIR doesn't know what DST is helping for same activity. They are giving grants, similar grants to different people. Like there was hardly any synergy and coordination. And the first thing that we did was to, within 1 year, to ensure that everybody in the Department of Science and Technology, whether biotechnology, CSIR, they are all on the same plane. And their thinking is same, their wavelength is same, their planning is same, their vision is same. And we brought them to such a level that after 2-3 years, when we started producing the list of our achievements and the whole department, it was not like a separate chapter for DST, for CSIR. It was dedicated to the work. See what the whole science department is doing for water, what they are doing for clean energy, what they are doing for sanitation, what they are doing for Swachh Bharat, etc., etc. And now I find that the whole department is on the same plane. And they have, when they make the vision programs, the whole lot of activities are described with great cohesive, I think, synergy. So this is what I feel is right now needed in this activity of public health. Because the government is going in a big way strengthening public health, as Dr. Gangwar mentioned, that it's more now. All my life I have said health is 80% prevention. Health is 80%. If you can teach everybody that health is not the responsibility of the government, it is your own responsibility to keep yourself healthy. And this is the way you can keep yourself healthy. This is what you should know. This is what you should be educated about. This is what you should educate your teachers. And this is what the teachers have to educate their students to become messengers of health. So 80% of our problems are solved. And right now the government is also moving in that direction. A program that I did in Delhi as a health minister, so involving the school teachers, getting them trained in Maulana Azad Medical College and using a model where we created a health council in school, a health commander in school, a health monitor in a class, a teacher who would get trained in Maulana Azad Medical College, come to the school, and every assembly, one day in a week, they will be talking about one subject. We selected 32 subjects of preventive health and created a big movement. Now, 25 years later, we are doing the same activity in the health ministry with coordination from the HRD ministry. And through every school, it's going to happen in the whole country. And you can say the public health is strengthening. I think it's the way it's happening at these health and wellness centers. The way lacks of, now it's I think a few crores of people who have been screened for diseases like hypertension, diabetes, cancer cervix, oral cavity cancer, cancer breast, etc., etc. And various types of health packages of wide varieties, which include even mental health now, delivery of drugs, delivery of diagnostics. Everything is happening at that focused area of health and wellness center, and we are trying to create a movement around that health and wellness center, of a strong health movement. Now we have a very robust system with over 1 million ASHA workers in the country, Anganwadi workers, so many are there. Now, I feel that this is the right time, and then if you could now all get together in the act of having a final good quality diagnosis about what we need to do. Routine things will not help now. We have reached a stage where the micro diagnosis is required. Say for example, we have been striving hard to get our maternal mortality rates reduced. I remember 96 when we started the 97, 96 we started the Matri Suraksha Abhiyan in Delhi. The maternal mortality rate in Delhi was also very high, and used to create systems at 600 places. Similarly, we created many programs, and even in a place like Delhi, so many women who had their second, third pregnancy, they would come with first time for an institutionalized registration, etc. Now we are talking about maternal mortality rate coming down to 120 in places like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. It has, we have already achieved what we are supposed to be achieving in the our sustainable development goals. I was in an aspirational district in Tamil Nadu on about 8 days back. That is Viruddhanagar in Tamil Nadu. And I was so happy to know that their infant mortality rate was just 11, probably the best in the country. I don't think I've heard about anybody having a better rate than that. So what I am trying to emphasize is that it is now possible. Last year itself, tuberculosis, we had a gap of almost 1 million cases in this country. Million cases, about whom we, in spite of all the tools, we were not able to search them. Today, the newspapers which would never write positive articles, they are actually writing that it is possible to eliminate tuberculosis, because they find that the government has been able to, the system has been able to search 7 lakh cases in 1 year. The gap has got reduced to just about 3 lakh cases. And about the services of the public health professionals, if you read the article that has been written in Indian Express yesterday itself about the you can say the unsung heroes in our system of people who work with the NCDS, etc. That all this speaks volumes about the fact that we can now achieve most of the things. Programs like Suman, we have been able to, for the Surakshit Matritva, etc., where we say that there is going to be zero tolerance to denial of services to a pregnant woman. It is her right to be treated. It has to be, the pregnancy has to be a blessing. It has to be a boon. It can never become a curse. And every preventable death of a pregnant woman has to be avoided at every cost. We can no longer afford to still be happy with 80%, 90% of coverage of our children in the universal immunization program. Why 80%? Why 90%? We could eradicate polio because we could immunize 100% children for not once, but many times. Otherwise, we couldn't have, we wouldn't have eradicated polio. So now in the universal immunization program, we cannot afford that even a single child is left without receiving those 1 dozen vaccine preventable, vaccines which will take care of their vaccine preventable diseases. And for all these issues where we are now determined to eliminate some of the diseases, to ensure that our maternal, child mortality, infant mortality rates, except for those deaths which are, not avoidable, scientifically not avoidable, I think there should not be a single death of child and a pregnant woman in the country. And with how I have seen the things change, and all of you have seen that change much more closely from rather than me. You have been part of many policy making activities, you have been part of many changes, many reforms, many suggestions, many implementation schedules, many monitoring activities. So now we can easily foresee that the only thing that we lack now is that we have to be more determined. We have to have a new jazba to actually do the last bit of it. The last mile was very difficult. I had not, I had seen smallpox as a medical student, but not so closely. But I have seen polio so closely, so I know the last mile was a little difficult. All sorts of problems, resistance, rumors, this, that, involving specific communities, etc., even then some chronic districts. But ultimately we had diagnosed the solution to the problem and we got rid of those solutions. And today when we are talking about the disease, we have already almost 10 years now. Next year in January we will have 10 years when we would have seen a last case of polio in the country. So right now, for all these issues, what I feel, I am not a public health expert, but with whatever experience I have gained over the years, is that now we need finer addition and modifications in the various strategies that are being implemented. And these finer modifications and these finer reforms, finer changes, maybe we have to get rid of some strategies and produce a new innovative strategy. Today the innovation coefficient is much more important than any other coefficient. Everybody in the system is capable of giving a good idea, and those in the field who deal with the situation every day, they know very well that why did this pregnant woman die? If we can start answering these questions, try to find out why this child died, why this infant could not survive, and then go backwards, rather than saying that we will prevent, we are already preventing. But if someone dies, you start doing the research on that, why did he die? So you will come across various reasons, and you will find out that in spite of a robust system, why he died was that there was some small fault in this strategy. You just refine the strategy here, you will not get similar deaths. And now I want the people like you, institutions like yours, the public health people, very soon we'll have I have in mind to plan something big where all these people get together in the act of planning a robust, I would say, a very aggressive strategy for the coming years, where we can at least take up some well-defined goals and achieve them within a well-defined time frame. So I would like to go back today with an appeal to you. Let's start thinking about. My experience of 25 years is that if we start brainstorming, we get good ideas, brightest ideas. And the brightest idea is not necessary that the head of the department is only capable of giving a bright idea. Even the youngest student who has come in the department, he can also give you the brightest idea. My experience of polio eradication is that in '94 we used to face so many problems. That was a time when there was virtually not the type of internet that we have, virtually not the type of social media, not the type of mobile phones that we have today. And it was so difficult to communicate. The NIC was there, we got their help. We took so much of data from Election Commission to make our polio kendras and all. And when we used to have a big complicated problem, how to handle it, then I used to call a director of a management institute, Dr. Sharad Kumar, and say that this is and one of my friends was also part of the core group, who was a professor of management. I would call him and say, sir, बड़ा दिमाग खराब हो रहा है, कुछ ये problem समझ नहीं आ रहा है, it's very difficult to handle. How to? He will call me, sir, give me a day to work. and he will call me back after 4 hours, say, you can do it like this. So I used to always thank him, say, don't thank me. I have not done anything. I told my students who have just entered the institute to please brainstorm about it and just give me a solution. And they would give the solution. So similarly here also, I think and this I have been saying in science also throughout, that sometimes what happens is that if we review our own careers, we will see we had been a director or a head of the department of a department or an institute for many, many years. But we had, all our career, we had never brainstormed informally with our colleagues. And if we start the type of brainstorming with a definite agenda with our colleagues, I think we'll come out with brightest of ideas. And this is the time when we have to finally give the master stroke to virtually eliminate some of the diseases and put further refined systems in place, so that we are now like, I remember that I was part of a program in 2017. It was our BJP program at our party headquarters, and the Prime Minister was delivering his speech. Our party had probably won in some state and all, so and for a moment he said, can you for a moment imagine that this is this year that we are talking about, talking to each other is 1942. And he said, you remember in 1942 we gave the Quit India movement call in the country, and 5 years after that we got independence. So he said, imagine in 2017, it is a speech at 6 o'clock that he delivered at our party headquarters. He said, imagine for a moment you are in 1942, and 5 years from now will be in 2017, 5 years from now will be 75 years of our independence. So can we today pledge that we want to, he said, I want to deliver a new India by 2022. An India with smiles on everybody's face, India where everybody's problems, sufferings, they are all, you see, got rid of, alleviated, and we can give good quality health, education, nutrition, all those things to everyone. Take care of our mothers, sisters, elders in the most best possible manner. He elaborated all this in great way. And he said, please start dreaming about it. Please start generating ideas about it. And please start, I want to have this dream, and I want each one of you to have a dream, and I want all of us to have our dreams blended together for the delivery of that new India. So I am sure I want all health professionals, and especially those engaged in preventive health, positive health, public health, to get together in the act of now doing the final diagnosis for the delivery. We have, I think, reached a stage where we can do that. The senior people who I just mentioned, symbolic, they are not only for calling for all the symbolic functions. We have such a huge, workforce of such retired professionals who dedicated their whole life for health. So their experience at this stage, their involvement at this stage can give us rich dividends. They can all contribute in a big way. And most of them may not be wanting a post or something, but if you call all the best people in public health in the country and tell them that I want your suggestions, I want your blessings, I want your good ideas, I want you to contribute something in the country without a post or without a consultancy, I am sure 99% of them will be very happy to contribute. That is, I think, so this particular foundation day, incidentally, last 1 month has been very, very fortunate. I have been thinking about it, but I never asked you to invite me, but I got this opportunity of going to 2 functions in Mumbai, public health function also, SPM president also from Maulana Azad I called. And all these people in the coming months, very soon, I'll all put them all together. But before that, start reviewing everything within your system. How from a casual routine approach to a super dynamic, professional and highly, you can say, intensive approach we can convert our institutions into, and how we can utilize the capability and potential of not only the institution but each and everyone in the institution, whether the present or the past, and how we can actually use the, you can say, dynamic acumen of the younger people. So a new strategy is needed at every place, a new diagnosis of things and a new treatment plan, new management plan for the health problems of this country. And I'm sure that institutions like National Institute of Health and Family Welfare, which are revered names in this field, but I think the vision that was created for such institutions, they are not able to deliver that much. So we have to revive the old, you see, dream again, the vision that was created for the institutions. And everyone in the country should be looking at these public health institutions for every advice and for every refining of strategy. That is what I want to be taken up as a pledge or maybe a dream for the future. And I'm sure that if we will start dreaming, things will certainly change in India. All these conferences, etc., they are all important. But my experience of these conferences of so many years is that people come for conferences, most of the people, they attend a bit of it, they attend, so there are very few who attend the whole conference. They share experiences, they meet each other, but at the end of the day, when we actually review that what is the real positive ultimate outcome which produced a perceptible and a measurable change in the whole set of things in the society, we will not feel happy. I'm not saying that we stop doing these conferences, we must do them. But for the conferences also, we have to redefine the strategy, how we organize them and how we convert them into big sources of energy, positive energy generation for the health sector. That is also now needed. So with these few words, I thank you for inviting me. I had told him when he had come that if that is not a parliament day, I will certainly come. And luckily there was no parliament today, so I got this opportunity to come here and meet, see the older people also, the great experienced people who have contributed so much to health. Thank you so much. We have a lot of hopes from you. Namaskar, Jai Hind. देखिए ये देश का प्रेस्टिजियस इंस्टीट्यूशन है, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हमारा फैमिली हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर, इनका फाउंडेशन डे है। आज सबने हमने मिलकर यह तय किया कि जितने भी पब्लिक हेल्थ में काम करने वाले इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, जो प्रिवेंटिव हेल्थ, पॉजिटिव हेल्थ है, पब्लिक हेल्थ है, ये सारी चीज़ें ऐसी हैं कि इनकी मदद से स्वास्थ्य में एक बड़ा जन आंदोलन विकसित हो सकता है। और ये जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, ये हमारे हेल्थ के जो वर्कर्स हैं, हर स्तर के डॉक्टर तक उनको ट्रेनिंग देते हैं। उनकी जो एक इतनी बड़ी रिसोर्स है देश के लिए, उसकी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग करते हैं। तो आने वाले समय के अंदर जो हमारी बड़ी बड़ी बीमारियां जिनको हमें देश से समाप्त करना है, टीबी जैसी बीमारी है, काला आज़ार जैसी बीमारी है, हम मीज़ल्स को समाप्त करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, हम मलेरिया के ख़िलाफ़ युद्ध लड़ रहे हैं। जो बीमारियां जिनको हम कम कर सकते हैं, लेप्रोसी को हम समाप्त करना चाहते हैं। और इसके साथ साथ हम ये चाहते हैं कि गर्भवती महिला, उसकी किसी कीमत पर मृत्यु नहीं होनी चाहिए, बच्चे की जो है शिशु की मृत्यु नहीं होनी चाहिए, 5 साल से छोटे बच्चों की मृत्यु नहीं होनी चाहिए। तो इस तरह की जो बच्चों के लिए पर्याप्त पोषण की व्यवस्था होनी चाहिए, महिलाओं के लिए उनको एनीमिया नहीं होना चाहिए। अब इन सारे कार्यक्रमों के अंदर जो है क्या क्या नए नए हमें आयाम जोड़ने हैं, उनके लिए ये जितने पब्लिक हेल्थ के लोग हैं, पब्लिक हेल्थ की इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, पब्लिक हेल्थ एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया है, देश के मेडिकल कॉलेजों में सोशल एंड प्रिवेंटिव मेडिसिन के डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं, इन सब लोगों को हम एक प्लेन पे लाके एक सोच के साथ अभी तक जो कुछ अचीव किया उसमें और क्या नए इनोवेटिव इम्प्रूवमेंट्स करने हैं, उसके बारे में एक नई सोच की प्रक्रिया प्रारंभ करेंगे, ताकि जो प्रधानमंत्री जी का 2022 तक नया भारत डिलीवर करने का सपना है, उसमें जो जो हेल्थ के पैरामीटर्स हमको अचीव करके दिखाने हैं वो सारे हम सब मिलकर अचीव कर सकें। आज फाउंडेशन डे पर सबने मिलकर यही संकल्प लिया है।